Most people think of welding as something industrial, but for Greg Bartol, it's something else, a creative force that fuses art, story, and steel.
The power went out in Maple Valley. I convinced Louise I needed to buy a generator, and I bought a huge welder generator that's right over there. And then I decided to take a class at Green River and find out how to weld. And what I found is that by concentrating on a spot this big, the rest of the world went away.
That spark ignited decades of sculpture, each one larger, bolder, and more personal than the last.
We did a 28-foot gate at Seuss Creek Botanical Garden. And at Shadow Lake, we did a 10-foot sign for the Shadow Lake Nature Preserve. My eagle that's at Green River College outside the library, it is 1 inch bigger than the world record eagle. I went and researched. It was important to me to know exactly how big that eagle had to be.
At first, Greg used spoons to hide his welds. Now they're part of the art. Every feather a deliberate act of patience and purpose.
So I started off and I really enjoyed doing birds. And part of the reason is, at first I wasn't a very good welder. And so I was looking for a way that each weld would get covered up by the next piece I put on. And so I was making individual feathers one at a time. Like on a bird's wing might be 250 feathers made one at a time.
Greg's impact goes beyond his own work. Artists like Steve Nagode were inspired to forge their own path, combining welding with what they love.
What makes it unique to me is I've always had a passion for bicycles. So I try to use at least one bicycle part in all of my art. Every project's different. Some of them start with an idea. Someone actually has a specific request, and you build it, and then you come up with ways to even make it a little cooler, or you hide something in there. Or if they look really close, they'll see it, an Easter egg, for example. I built a log recently, and I put some little critters on the inside where probably 90% of people won't see it, or maybe even the client won't see it for a while. But when they do, I think it'll be a nice feeling.
I had to try it. With Greg guiding me through, I struck my first arc, and it was awesome.
You went back and picked up a little bit of that. With a little more practice, you would never even be able to tell where your weld and that weld started, because you just melt into there.
Greg's workshop is a museum of imagination, from mushroom sculptures with legs to broccoli furniture and kissing ducks.
If you put arms and legs on a mushroom, they get personality right now.
But what really sets Greg apart isn't the scale, it's the connection, how his work invites people in.
And a lot of people, you'll see them kind of look up in the corner of their eye, and they'll remember they welded with Grandpa in the barn when they were a kid. You never know who welding is going to connect with. And I've had people come up and Mom or Dad says, my son took a welding class and he built a gate at our house. And so I've always wanted it. Mom said, I always wanted to try welding. So that's the fun part.
Welding connects generations. It's creative. It's technical. It's a new way to see the world, and your role in shaping it.
The market has really come around and designed for people to plug into their garage and have a welder at home. And the helmets are not that expensive if you're just starting out. The machines are $110 now instead of having to be $220 or more. I think the industry has really shifted around to the people that want to weld in their garage and stuff.
For Greg, for Steve, and now maybe for me, welding is more than a craft. It's a way of expressing something deeper than words. So if you've ever wanted to try welding yourself, I hope this is the spark that starts you off.